Okay, so I was watching this video over this weekend. It had to do with a McDonald's worker who stabbed her co-worker, which was the manager. And the manager, I believe she had 6 kids. So I believe this video has been circulating all over Instagram, social media. But what bothers me about some of the footage, um, it was just really disturbing because this guy right here, I don't know if you can see this. Um, I'm trying to see if I can, I don't know. Anyway, there are several people, I guess, that are debating the whole issue about the stabbing. But I looked at this one guy's video and he made mention about the girl's wig. And he also said, I'm pretty sure that the manager wore a wig too. And he pointed at the girl by the way she wore the colored wigs. And I just want to say this. This has nothing to do with hair. It's all to do with mental illness. And I feel like this person, I don't know who he is. It's called Black Guru. That's what it's entitled underneath the video, uncovering the real reason. That's what he says, the real reason McDonald's worker stabbed her manager. What he did have, he had more footage. He actually was able to get the footage of the stabbing that happened inside the McDonald's, which is probably sad for the family. They're reliving that whole chaotic event over and over again because it has circulated probably 1,000 times over on social media, all over platforms, you would name it. But what's disturbing about the comments that are coming in? People, some are in defense of this woman as to why she did what she did, and that's really disturbing. Also, the comment this man made, I'm going to interject in what I feel about this whole event, which is so sad because it says a lot about what's going on in our world. There is a lot of hate going on, a lot of hatred within the black community. I'm going to say that there's a lot of hatred, and there's a lot of hatred towards women. And he interjected in his video to say, oh, it must be the wigs. The wigs are the reason why that the stabbing took place. It's these women and the wigs. Now, I'm a little older. I remember when not very many women were wearing a lot of wigs. And then when the weaves came out, people would make jokes about women that had weaves. Then it became really popular to wear weaves. And then you didn't really hear so many people making too many jokes about it. Even comedians would make jokes about the weaves. They weren't full. I would think they were more like sew in or braid in. And they weren't really looked at as a full wig. However, as time changed, I guess, trends evolve and people start doing more different things, exploring, what they're going to do. And in the black community, women explore different beauty products and what they do with their hair. And some people have come into some really neat ideas and it works for people. Now, maybe not everybody does things the correct way, or they're using products that might be too harsh, and they've uncovered a lot of those things. I even heard where they were having like some class action lawsuit about women who for years had use perm products on their hair to straighten their hair, and that there were things going on with the chemicals that were going into their skin and going into their pores and getting into their system and may be the cause of fibroids and whatnot. So there's cancer issues that have come up, and some people have won those lawsuits against companies, and they still sell those products in beauty supply shops. I've heard a lot of back and forth. Women in the black community with our hair, it is a lot of this debate and discussion over that, first off. So for this man and probably other men, I felt like the way he made his comment, it was sort of like taking a shot at black women, saying that, oh, it's those women in those wigs. So I'm assuming from the way it came off is that he might have had a situation where he tried to speak to some women and it didn't go well. So he now has this deep-seated resentment for black women who wear wigs, in particular because of something that didn't go right in his life. And so that's the way I perceived it, because it sounded like it was personal. Then he wanted to deflect from that to say, oh, he called them BWs. So he didn't even refer to them as women in general. He gave them an abbreviation. So that was a red flag for me right there on his part, to say calling women BWs. You know, you're not even referring to them. It was probably a shorter term to refer to black women as BWs. But to say it like that, it almost is taking away from the woman being even human. And so I don't think he realized how that video came off. It was very offensive to actual black women looking at that. So I want to say this, to say, black women, you young black women that are out there, be aware that there are men, just because they smile in your face doesn't mean they're really interested in having a relationship with you. They're there sometimes. They have this resentment and this hatred towards women. That's why we're in the positions we're in right now, because I really do believe, outside of all this drama where people were going around saying Kamala Harris wasn't black, they didn't want to see a black woman become president, because that's empowerment of black women. And they didn't want to see a woman be president, because that's an empowerment of women. Notice the first thing they attacked in this administration is women's abortion rights. So that's what they have not mentioned out of all of this drama with immigrants and them chasing all of them down and deportation and all of this stuff with they're coming after the black people too. You got to be careful, because some of these cults are rising up. I'm noticing these black men are standing at the corners. They have on all this little garb, and they're trying to reel black people that are naive into their little cliques. I even saw a video where one guy was trying to reel people into his cult following, because he claimed that he was going to move to Sudan or some other country, which this man knows nothing about that country. Why would you follow somebody who don't even know the language and don't know the culture out to somewhere, and you don't know the language and the culture? You haven't done your homework about what troubles go on over there. No place is perfect. I feel personally like if you follow these people to these foreign places and you don't do your homework and you're not prepared, you're trading problems. That's all you're doing. You're trading problems. You're moving from one situation that you think is bad to something else that could be a far worse, that you are not even prepared to deal with. Because not only on top of the fact that you didn't grow up there, you weren't born there, now they look at you as an outsider. So get this in your head. There's travel bans everywhere. Once you leave and go somewhere, you are gone forever. You might not be able to come back over here anymore. So the video eventually it goes off by itself, but I'm going to go on. I'm going to tell you this. Be careful who you listen to in these little cliques, religious cults, and all this stuff. I feel like black people tend to be, some of us, not all of us, tend to be really naive on a lot of levels with this religion, with cults, with even the voting. who we're picking. That's why we're in the shape that we're in now. And there's all these little groups that are online that don't have no legal background. They don't have no education in what law is. They don't have nothing behind them saying that they're a lawyer. You just listening to all these people who don't have no legal experience. They don't have no experience whatsoever on all of the legal terms. You just run with whoever just 'cause he's popular. He got clicks and likes, and he's doing clickbait on all these social media platforms, and you reeled in there like a fish. And these are nothing but sharks you're dealing with, nothing but wolves you're dealing with. People, they don't have your best interest. All they want to do is ear hustle. They try to get your money, your donations, and you see nothing behind it. Years go by, I've seen this happen where other people, creators, content creators, they come up saying, oh, we're going to build a school, or we're going to make videos, or we're going to have content, we're going to do this and do that. And they wind up poisoning your minds with all these beliefs. And while they're doing that, poisoning your mind, now they're on vacations with your donation money. They're buying their house with your donation money. They're paying off and getting new cars with your donation money. And you people just keep giving them money, especially on TikTok. You see people, they're doing all of this really crazy behavior, and because they are a character, you giving them money. Meanwhile, they're selling you all this sob story about, oh, I don't have a room, I can't pay for my hotel room, I can't pay for this. Now, there might be some real people on there having some real struggles. If that's true, they're not going to come with a new wig, new nails, new clothes, new car, new house, or they had a new apartment. They went through all this money that you donated to them. And no offense, I think nothing is wrong with wearing wigs and weaves and whatever. I think some people have come up with some lovely creativity with that. What I had offense to is him labeling black women and putting people down and saying that's the reason why the stabbing happened. It's those women, those BWs with the wigs. That was wrong of him to do that. I don't know if he really understood where his language sounded like, but it sounded very negative. Okay, so a negative situation happened, a tragedy happened, and you're going to put a spin on it that it's, oh, these BWs with the red hair and all of this. Okay, we know that the girl has some issues because he did pull up some videos that were disturbing, her dancing around in her underwear. Then he had videos of her holding the dead bird. And, from what I've heard in the past, people who have tendencies of being serial killers and stuff, they have a fascination with death and dead animals and whatnot. So that was a red flag when I saw that video of her holding a dead bird. I don't know what else was behind all of that. That seemed pretty rather strange. I've never seen a young lady be holding dead birds and just looking at it and doing a whole video on the dead bird. I don't know if it was to do it in a good way or if it was just, the way the video looked, it just seemed really weird. There were some other videos, but you could also hear one of her videos that I wanted to mention of the worker that did the stabbing is that he showed a video of her screaming at a guy in the background. I guess she had mentioned there was some guy that was trying to have sex with her. And I guess she was doing him favors and he had a health issue or something like that. And he was trying to do her favors. And, um, I'm trying to turn the sound down. I don't know if I can. You might hear it. It's on commercial, but it's going to go off. So, so I'm going to skip over it. But look at this. I'm going to go to this so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. And he mentions BW, and he mentions, oh, the woman with the wig.
Afeni came back with a knife and took the life of Jennifer Harris right here. Afeni is facing a mandatory life without parole for a first-degree murder charge. Afeni is currently in jail in Michigan on a $25 million bond. Now let's get to the truth behind this whole situation. I'm going to show you what she recently said about her workplace, and then I'm going to show you what really was going on behind the scenes in her personal life.
I got sent home early yesterday. I got sent home early today by the same person. I'm telling you, she's a bully. This shit isn't funny. She needs to understand that just because she's a mother and got children doesn't mean that she can come in the store, disrespecting people, talking to them like everybody's beneath her. She has no respect. Like, seriously, man, I got shit I gotta take care of. She keeps sending me home early. It's not funny. She's playing games. And then all day, throughout the day, she's sending her little racist shit. And then throughout the day, she keeps going, like, putting negative energy in the air, talking about people, gossiping about people. It's not funny, man. That shit gonna have to stop. She's a bully. She brings a lot of negative energy in there. She always panics when there's a lot going on, and then she tries to manipulate that and make it seem like we ain't doing something right, but we are working really hard, doing great. It's just the fact that she panicked, and I caught her a few times making a mistake, and she tried to hurry up and play it off. Nobody's perfect. Perfect up, it happens. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes, like, somebody might hit you too. It gets busy, yeah. But she needs to stop playing like she'll be making mistakes. So her, all that animosity and shit that she keep putting in the air and stuff, that's trying to tell me, I'm always snapping on people. No, that's wrong. No, I don't snap on people. I don't go in there doing that. I told her, no, I make cheese. That's what I'm doing. I've been creating cheese. So it's all that negative energy that she's bringing in there and trying to manipulate it. No, that's going to stop. All that negative shit she's saying about, her personal life, all of that. No, she's bringing all of that in there and then playing games that she want to take her belt off and beat somebody. Y'all act like my kids in here. No.
No, first of all, I want to say this. Now, this is probably the most coherent you're going to hear her talk out of all the other videos I'm about to show you in a second. Now, I will tell you this. I do believe what she is saying is true. I know the BW, and the BW likes to bring drama and toxicity and chaos wherever they go, especially into their work environment. And the fact that she has 6 kids, I believe what this girl right here is saying is true. She probably was saying stuff like this, oh, treating these girls like they're kids. And
You heard him? He said the BW.
Crazy. I'm telling you. But she gets sent home 2 days in a row, man. And I came in on my off day to make up my time. Still sends me home early. It's not funny. Somebody wants to do something about that. It's not funny.
No, this should be a lesson to BWs as well. In all people, all women especially. You never know what somebody else is going through. And women today are becoming more violent. I've made that known many, many times. Becoming more violent than ever before. Y'all have been so busy focused on men and the violence that men are able to do that y'all don't pay attention and how reckless y'all are with y'all mouth when it comes to other women.
You hear what he said with your mouth.
Y'all have to be careful who y'all are talking to.
The BWs. That's what he calls them.
She was right about that. She wasn't playing because not long after this, you know what happened.
And then he gonna get on about her wig later in the video. He talks about, oh, see these women with these wigs. So that's how I knew it was more personal for him.
I'm going to tell you right now, this girl right here may have a case where she may be proven innocent. You're going to see the evidence for it. This is one piece of evidence right here. Listen to what she just said.
So then she's like trying to make it seem like that she dicked over some shit. What she put down, tell me if I can pull in the gun on a kid. That shit doesn't scare me. You know what I mean? That shit doesn't scare me.
Okay, let me tell you something. The woman that she stabbed, she has the 6 kids, and the father, he gonna say, oh, you're focused on what these men are doing that's violent. The woman that had the 6 kids, the reason why she's the manager working at McDonald's and single, it's not because she doesn't have a guy. Her guy, all her kids' father, he's in prison right now. So she has to be the one to step up and take care of the kids. So for him to sit up there and totally not even mention that, that tells you a lot about who he is.
did. And maybe that's why they always fire her, just to defend themselves. They probably felt like their life was threatened.
Now, if the manager, Jennifer Harris's life was taken, if her kids come out and say anything like this, it is going to be a total different scenario in court. Now, I had to go back to November 2024 to find this video right here. This is the question that I have. Why are employers not really and thoroughly checking the social media of anybody that they're hiring? They should be checking it. I thought they were doing that, but I was wrong. Look what she pulls out right here. Look what she has.
Nah, this stays at home though.
Now that I can agree with.
That wouldn't look right, I guess.
And look right here. I've been talking about these wigs and
Now listen.
that they carry, the negative demonic energy that they carry.
Did you hear that? The wigs, they carry the negative and demonic energy.
That wouldn't look right, I guess.
And look right here. I've been talking about these wigs and the energy that they carry, the negative demonic energy that they carry when they put these things on. Been saying it for a long time. You're not going to check social media, but of course not. Jennifer Harris, the manager, looked like she wore wigs herself. So why is she?
Okay, did you hear that? Okay, Jennifer, the manager, looked like she wore wigs herself.
Going to say anything about another BW who wears wigs?
BW who wears wigs, and then he goes on to say more about the girl. And oh, look at her wig.
Social media, do you think that she's suffering any kind of mental health? That you're looking at all these different pictures. I mean, we're seeing different costumes. Like, look at this. Now she thinks she's a Barbie doll of some sort. I don't know what she thinks she is right here. Maybe Cleopatra or something. Who knows? But you can get on here and see stuff like this. And she calls herself the Risen Phoenix. And in one particular post, she says her name is not a Phoenix anymore. She's not a Phoenix. She's the Risen Phoenix. She has like weird little images and stuff like this. More right here, just wearing these wigs and stuff, different costumes again.
All right, I'm going to stop it right there. So I just wanted you to see that I wasn't making it up on this dude. No offense. I didn't want anybody to think that I was making it up about him saying what he was saying about the BWs and the wigs. So you heard it for yourself. This is the reason why a lot of women prefer to be single, because they don't want to end up with dudes like this. Because I'm sure that he's had some interactions that he's run into. At least out of the 5, there's going to be like 3 women who are wearing something that's a wig or either a wiglet. And for him to do that, I'm assuming that he might have had a bad experience. Maybe he tried to date somebody and the date didn't go well, or maybe they just wasn't his cup of tea. And or they wasn't, that maybe he wasn't their cup of tea, vice versa, whatever, and things didn't go over well, so now he has this deep aggression and a defensive attitude towards women who happen to wear wigs. And now he's saying, oh, it brings demonic energy. And if you look at underneath his video, it says the Black Guru. So to me, that almost spells like a little cult, a man cult. And we have a lot of those on social media in the black community. I'm going to speak on it because I've been noticing a lot of that. And so all of that negativity towards women brings that hatred. And so the first thing that was attacked in this administration was abortion rights for women, women's rights. They treat women as property. They don't treat you as a human. Listen to the way he was referring to women. Not even a woman, not even a person or a human, a BW. So that should tell you, young women, beware of this mentality that's out there. It is out there. And some people know how to lie. They know how to make themselves look like they're a great person. And they just want to lay in the sack with you. You don't know what their sexual histories are. Some of these men are carrying diseases. They won't tell you. They're angry at women because maybe something bad happened to them, or they just don't give a hell. They don't care. They are looking to hurt as many people as they can hurt because they've been hurt, or either they're not mentally wrapped right. And I'm noticing happen from some of these guys that come from out of the service. some of these men that come from out of like groups, and they might be part of cults. They might be a part of like hate groups towards women. They have a deep hatred towards women. And so they're looking to hurt as many female women out there that they can hurt, even if it means giving her a life affliction. And so I've seen this happen with my own eyes. Young women, they come excited thinking they got a little boyfriend that maybe it's going to develop in a real serious relationship. And then she gets her heart broken. Not only her heart broken, but she winds up with some kind of illness that's an incurable that she got to live with for the rest of her life. And so you guys don't take this stuff serious. You think just because they got the medicine that's supposed to block things, sometimes it doesn't always work out. It's not for a lot of people. And then there's other diseases that are out there. They might not be deadly, but they're going to be problematic, and it's something you can still be left with for the rest of your life. It could affect you having children. It could affect you even wanting to get in future relationships. And so you got to watch yourself, watch who you're with, because people do not tell the truth. Just like people have a past of what their history is from work, or what their history is from where they live, or where they used to grow up, you have a sexual, whether you're engaged in sexual activity or not, you have a sexual history. So if somebody has done something, raped somebody, that's part of your sexual history, even if it's traumatic. And then whatever their sexual history is, they bringing that to you. The other thing is I don't think young women realize they want to hook up. There's a lot of hookup culture. They get with these people. You get married to somebody, you're not only married to that one person, you marry into that family. So if it's some crazy people in that family, that's what you stuck with. So you got to really reevaluate who you with nowadays. It should have already been like that. But I don't think this new group of people and these other young ladies, some of them ain't young. Some of them I've met even around my workplace talking about, oh, all men cheat. Well, when you have that attitude, that's what you're going to get, a cheater. You're going to get that. And be ready with the repercussions that follow when you with somebody like that. Don't be on these videos crying, oh, he did this and I got 9 kids and a husband and he done cheated on me again. So that's what I'm saying. And some of these women, they not even that young. But they do young, dumb, stupid shit. So watch yourself out there. Once you get one of these little diseases that you can't get rid of, there ain't no coming back from it. Ain't no coming back from it. All right. So I'm going to try to see if I can get this up